Have a look at this dashboard. This client made nearly $2 million from YouTube ads alone this year. By the end of this video, I'm gonna teach you and show you the exact targeting framework that we use that generated results like this. Guys, I know what you're thinking. YouTube ads does not work for e-commerce. YouTube ads doesn't work for us. That's the biggest piece of bullshit. 95% of brands, this works. YouTube's power is massively underestimated because it doesn't just generate direct sales, it lifts results across other channels. So take this nutrition brand we worked with. We used an attribution tracking tool called Crescent, or however the fuck you say it. So we discovered that in-platform ROAS was 1.5, but their actual total ROAS, including Shopify and Amazon, was 5.25. House Analytics, a massive data company. What they found was not only does Google misreport your ROAS, what actually happens is YouTube also gives incremental ROAS, which means once you've stopped spending, you're still going to get benefits. They saw brands have ROAS improvements weeks after. So as you can see here in the graph, it says post-treatment, and the cumulative lift in customers still continues. Most e-commerce brands still don't understand this. I'm going to reveal the same YouTube targeting principles that I've leveraged along with my team for brands such as Tabs, Ovi, Snow, Crafted, Arc on Amsterdam, Sasha Therese, Frank Body, Muscle Nation, the list goes on. And just a quick side note, this video is currently being recorded at 4 p.m. September the 25th. 2025. Currently, you can still launch video campaigns in some accounts, but Google is depreciating those and getting rid of it. So eventually you'll only have demand gen, though you can filter by network to run YouTube only campaigns in demand gen. So everything we're covering in this video is relevant to YouTube ads through demand gen to just ensure this video is updated as possible. First thing I'm going to start with is obviously targeting. You cannot execute with YouTube ads like you do with Meta ads. That's one of the main reasons why people fail. Before you want to get into the nitty gritty of your targeting, you want a real solid foundation to build and launch upon. You first want to create two campaign types, prospecting and remarketing campaigns. This sort of separation is crucial because it gives us complete clarity over each funnel stage and just prevents YouTube's algorithm from getting confused about other objectives. Prospecting is for new customers, so you want that side to optimize the acquisition side of things. On the other end, remarketing, that's more for customers who have connected with your brand before, whether they've bought from you, seen your website, all that shit. And ideally, you want to sort of split ad groups by format too. Shorts, in-stream, and in-feed. So this approach gives you greater control over performance and lets you tailor your ad copy. This campaign structure only does work if you feed it the right audience signals, and that's where our audience layering system comes in. Ideally, you want to use seed audiences like customer lists or just engaged website visitors. This allows Google to find users most likely to buy, people that look like your current buyers and most engaged customers. But also, it allows YouTube to sort of find new customers for you, so even the perfect campaign structure won't save you if your audience targeting is all fucked up. So now that you have your campaign structure, let me show you the audience targeting system that makes it all work. So to start, you can't execute YouTube ads like you do Meta ads. YouTube's audience targeting is what we like to call a lazy beast. It sort of operates on behavioral signals that are just completely unique to the platform, ones that you need to feed it correctly. And here's a 3-tier system we use within each campaign type. So tier 1, you have customer match exclusions. This is the foundation of your audience layering, and it builds directly on the seed audience approach. Your existing customer list becomes your most valuable targeting tool, not for inclusion in prospecting campaigns, but for exclusions. Prospecting campaigns we use to exclude recent purchases, so our budget is used on genuine new customers rather than just fucking paying premium rates to target existing customers or people that would have brought from your site anyways. Even newer accounts can use customer match for exclusions, which is exactly what you want for new customer acquisition campaigns. You can find these in your account by going under tools, and then we're going to dive into a shared library and audience manager. Here you'll see the data segments that you can actually use to create audiences. As you guys can see, our team has already set up a few for this brand. To add any new ones, just click the plus button in the top left. Here you can choose which type of audience segments you want to add to Google and to YouTube. When you click into it, it gives you a few options to add from, Shopify or manual. Once you've set up one of these, you can actually then go ahead and set up an audience. So let's dive into that. We'll jump over to audiences. Let's just go plus real quick. One of the audiences that we like to set up is purchases 90 days. Under your data, you can then select the segments you previously uploaded. So we'll do customer lists. We'll scroll down. So let's scroll down and look for the one relevant. So here, master purchases 90 days. We'll go ahead and click on that. Then you can save and then start using this in your ads. As a rule of thumb, we like to set up the following: 30-day, 90-day, 180-day, and 365-day purchases. Your existing customer list becomes your most valuable targeting tool. By uploading your customer database and excluding recent purchases from acquisition campaigns, you're just ensuring that your budget focuses on genuine new customer acquisition rather than paying premium rates to retarget existing customers. Tier 2, custom intent and placement targeting. Now, both prospecting and remarketing campaigns use seed audiences, but in completely different ways. So for prospecting campaigns, we use broad seed targeting combined with custom intent audiences. Custom intent audiences let you target users based on their YouTube search behavior and video consumption patterns. Let's just think for a second. If you're selling protein supplements, you can target users who have been searching for best protein powder reviews or watching fitness transformation videos. We combine this with broad demographics for maximum reach while targeting people who've shown genuine interest in what you're advertising. So for remarketing campaigns, we're still using seed audiences, but we're recapturing attention that we've already earned. Here we separate by engagement level: video viewers, website visitors, and cart abandoners. Under custom segments, click add new segment, and here you can specify attributes for the intent that you want to target. Like we said, best protein powder reviews. Let's go ahead and add that. Now, while you can't directly target specific YouTube channels anymore, you can include competitor channel URLs in a custom segment to help obviously inform Google's algorithm about your ideal audience behavior. Here's an example. You get the URL and paste youtube.com, Andy Elliott official. Shout out Andy Elliott. If you're selling supplements, you could include fitness influencer channel URLs in your custom segment, or beauty guru channels if you're selling skincare, and all this stuff is only going to get better. All of this to give Google more understanding of the audience that you want to target. So let's head out of the UI. Under shared library, I want you to go to content suitability. Here, you can actually add another layer of targeting. For example, you can choose to exclude specific placements like channels, YouTube videos, or websites that you know that drive poor quality traffic. So you can exclude certain things as well, which is great. Okay, tier 3 is where a lot of accounts we audit make a critical mistake, because tier 3 is optimized targeting with audience stacking. Some brands will combine highly specific behavioral audiences with broad demographics. For example, something like women interested in fitness, the broader audience inevitably takes over due to its fucking size. So you end up sort of diluting your targeting precision and destroying performance. And the correct approach is to combine 2 to 3 highly relevant middle to sort of bottom of funnel audiences, then enable optimized targeting to scale beyond your initial perimeters. So we have a custom segment for creatine keywords, as you can see here, right? Paired with the data from previous customers, paired with a lookalike segment made up of YouTube audiences that work well for obviously their industry, with an in-market signal for those interested in sports and fitness. It also helps to have use optimized targeting ticked to just help expand this audience even further too, guys. I do recommend that. This just gives Google signals about your ideal customer while maintaining precision. And once you've got this down pat, you're set to fucking launch some ads, okay? But the format you choose is very important as well. So one thing I always tell people is never let Google automatically make fucking changes, but also never let Google automatically distribute your budget across the ad formats without understanding how each format works for your strategy. This is the case for things like Performance Max, but especially demand gen. Basically, the key is understanding that each format serves different parts of your funnel, and it requires different creative approaches and budget allocations, because YouTube has a few key formats that work really well for ecom. These work best for detailed value propositions because viewers who choose to watch over 5 seconds show higher purchase intent. You want to allocate 40 to 50% of your YouTube budget here. That's not Google ad account budget, not Google budget, your YouTube budget. So if you budget of Google ads is, let's say 200K, right? And you put 20K into YouTube, 50% of that you want to allocate. Target broad seed audiences with strong interest signals like that you guys saw before. What we've seen work with these is just focusing your time and energy on hook-led content, whether that be entertainment or some form of brand building. You want to give immediate value before making that fucking sales pitch. So for example, non-skippable 15-second ads, brand recognition rather than direct response. Allocate 25 to 30% of your budget here, and they work exceptionally well for priming audiences before major sale events like Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Father's Day, Mother's Day, Valentine's Day, Christmas, New Year, whatever the fuck it be, right? Target lookalike audiences from your best customers. Use lifestyle-focused creatives as well to really build that emotional connection, and set the objective to reach with frequency capping. So let's dive into YouTube Shorts real quick too. This is actually where the biggest opportunity exists right now, and it should get at least 20 to 25% of your budget allocation. The most successful YouTube Short campaigns use what a lot of people call ugly user-generated content. Anything that looks like an ad as just over-commercialized and shit does not do well. But that's why it works. When your audience is on something like Shorts, they're in consumption mode. Something authentic rather than polished brand content sort of gives you a better chance at performing on this part of the platform, okay? The key is just creating separate campaigns and creatives if you can for each format. And a rule of thumb we use is a maximum of 1 to 2 creatives per campaign, just to prevent Google's algorithm from favoring one creative over others. Like I said before, YouTube can be a lazy ad platform. It will preferentially show only, 1 or 2 creatives, even if you've got 5 different ones in the same campaign. So you want to avoid this at all costs. Okay, now let's talk about the metrics you should be looking at and what to obviously optimize, okay? So let's dive into some YouTube KPI benchmarks that actually fucking matter. So YouTube calculates key performance indicators, aka KPIs, differently than every other platform, and most advertisers don't even know it. So here's the benchmarks that we see in our accounts, just to give you guys a rough idea on what to target. Quick one, everything we're talking about in this video was covered in our webinar, where we even talked about using AI to create ads for ecom and demand gen. So if you're interested in that, definitely grab a checklist and training below in the description. There'll be a link somewhere. Anyways, now let's start with view rates. So in our accounts, we typically see view rates ranging from 15% to 35%, depending on creative quality and obviously audience targeting. For YouTube Shorts, we do aim for 8 to 10% plus view rates. 8 to 10, anything above that's great. For in-stream ads, we target 20% view rates. YouTube defines a view as 10 seconds of watch time for Shorts, not bang, flick, gone. That was like 1.5 seconds, but it's like that solid for 10 seconds of watch time for Shorts, but 30 seconds for in-stream ads. Low view rates means you're not matching the right creatives with the audience you're targeting, and eventually this lower view rate means higher CPMs, Google won't show, and just reduced visibility on the platform. If you're seeing this in your account, you need to fix this ASAP. Try different angles, test different hooks. Next, click-through rate. In our successful campaigns, we see CTRs ranging from 0.5% to 1.2%, depending on the format and targeting, but a benchmark we like to use is just 0.75% or higher. If below benchmark, you want to basically strengthen your call to action, maybe test different offers or improve the value proposition and the clarity of that. If above the benchmark, focus on conversion rate optimization on your landing page. Next, CPMs. CPMs, they vary dramatically by industry and competition. They're not all the same. Statistically, most companies have seen, let's say supplement brands, $8 to $18 CPMs. Fashion and apparel, $6 to $12. Tech and software, I'd say anywhere between $12 and $25. We've seen CPMs vary, but a benchmark we like to use is CPMs per format. In-stream should be between 13 to 15, and while Shorts are like 6 to 8. Google charges you more for basically disturbing the user experience. For example, when paying for non-skippable ads. Also, remember, broader targeting usually lowers costs because you're competing in a larger auction pool. If above these benchmarks, it just means you're likely overpaying a bit. So you want to broaden your targeting or test different audience segments. And if below these benchmarks, means you have efficient targeting. So focus on scaling, okay? The combination of audience and creative matters here. And smaller audiences tend to cost more due to retargeting dynamics. So let's say you get your metrics dialed in, start seeing good performance with your budget. How do you actually scale without destroying your ROAS? And that brings me to point number 5. That is YouTube budget scaling protocol. YouTube bidding operates under completely different rules than search or shopping campaigns, and applying the wrong strategy here will fucking destroy even the best targeted campaigns. Here's a scaling protocol that we use for every client spending over 20K a month. Phase 1, data collection. So you want to start with maximize conversions, bidding for the first 2 weeks to generate initial conversion data. YouTube campaigns require significantly more data for stable performance. We recommend, minimum $100 to $200 daily budget, depending on your sort of target CPA. This is higher than search campaigns because of YouTube's longer conversion cycles and the need for more data points for algorithm optimizations. Phase number 2, optimization switch. After gathering 50 plus conversions, you want to switch to target CPA bidding with your desired acquisition cost. Expect anywhere between showing 20 to 30% more volatility than search campaigns. This is normal simply due to YouTube's delayed conversion patterns. And phase 3 is when we fucking scale, and this is scaling discipline. So here's where most advertisers destroy their own success. They see good performance and immediately double their budgets, and the proven protocol is 20% budget increases every 3 to 5 days. Don't fucking double your budget straight away. Google is like an Amex card, you know, you got to spend a little and then you get back and then you spend a little more, and you want to be monitoring performance over weekly periods rather than daily changes. Many advertisers see good performance and immediately double budgets, and this fucking destroys performance as Google's algorithm struggles to keep their efficiency at dramatically higher spend levels because Google has to factor in the new auctions and shit. But guys, I'm telling you, I know this is just a YouTube video and I know Google ads and Echelon does Google ads and you think yeah, whatever, but by knowing these strategies and actually executing them, not just fucking watching, but going into your ad account and pressing buttons and doing the shit that I spoke about, you're gonna make drastic changes within the ad account and very good things are going to happen. But knowing these strategies and actually executing them profitably are two very different things. This YouTube targeting framework isn't just about getting more views or clicks. It's about building a sustainable acquisition channel that compounds over time, because Google is more than just fucking keywords and changing biddings and going after competitors. You can leverage so many things, including YouTube, to get new customers in the funnel. If this level of optimization sort of feels overwhelming for you, or you want someone to implement this entire targeting framework for you, we do this exact setup for our clients every single day. You're looking at him, booking a call with me. I'll give you a free audit of your ad account. We'll see where it's at. If you need help, I'll tell you. If you don't need help, I'll tell you the truth. And I'll say, mate, you're doing a great job. You don't need us. You don't need anyone. Keep doing what you're doing. With that being said, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. See ya.